barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. So I was thinking, and I'm not going to disclose that, but I was thinking about the Al Haymon going over to ITV and the UK market. And you know what I was thinking? To some degree, PBC and Al Haymon said to themselves, we're never going to allow another UK fighter to have basically complete leverage in negotiations. And I mean, when you're a man, you kind of think like that, right? Like, you don't want no one to have control over you, and them offering Anthony Joshua $50 million is basically a white flag saying, we understand that you're the man. We understand that, quote unquote, your brand is bigger than mine. So I'm going to concede by paying you for your hard work and your branding. And them being on ITV, 15 fights a year, in my greatest estimation, you'll have American fighters going over there commentating, or they'll be commentating from a studio somewhere in America. So they get to know their fan base, and I would assume it'll be similar to what they do at the Barclays Center. Whenever they have a big fight, all the PBC fighters come out, show out. You understand? They'll start making an impression on the UK fans. And the summary of all this is, if you haven't read the 48 Laws of Power, Al Haymon has, or if he hasn't, he's a living example of it. You know, like, you don't show your hand. You don't play your hand. And I know on YouTube, we want to be the loudest. We want to be the most boastful. I'm guilty of that sometimes. Then there are times, in many cases, where you just got to play the background and let the fool pretend that he's winning, that being Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn played his hand. I'm under the great impression that they were willing to work with Eddie Hearn, as I told you guys in the video yesterday, but he thought he could make a better sweet potato pie than Al Haymon. He tasted it and was like, oh, this is easy to make, you know, but he forgot about the soul. He forgot about the connection. And in America, there's a stigma on minorities being bought by white people. I don't care how you want to sugarcoat it and put it in other terms, but there is something that resonates in our spirit when a white man gives us money to perform for them and leave other black people behind. You understand, quote unquote. So I'm definitely excited. I'm anxious to see what it's going to look like. If it's anything like Fox, where they putting on shows and they'll have a pre-game show, a pre-fight show, a post-fight show. They'll raise the profiles by getting to know these guys from a non-combat perspective. You know, like always, I was having a private conversation with some executives, and I told them I don't have time to ask the fighters about their trendy style, about what's it like being a champion in a hometown, if they're single, how's dating, and you know, those contemporary type questions where you draw in the novice fan, because my subscriber base is like basically guys and males and females who come every day and wants to know boxing questions and answers. So I don't have the time to ask those questions or be that intrusive or be that quote unquote that contemporary, because y'all would come like, what the hell? What kind of question is that? How much you pay for them clothes? How much you pay for them shoes? You know what I mean? Like, those are questions that the novice fan wants to hear. You understand? And I don't have the time. I want the time to do it, but as you guys see in these media scrums, we don't have that much time as it relates. I get 2 or 3, maybe 4 questions to ask these guys in a 10 or 15 minute span. So I'm actually excited that PBC is putting on these contemporary shows. Hopefully it will touch. See, the hardcore fan base is already touched. We already know Jamal Charlo is from Texas, and you know, we already know these stories. So we don't really need to hear these stories. But if you talk about fashion and then bring up Jamel Heard and Jamal Heard, I mean, yeah, Jamel Heard and Jamal Heard, excuse me, Jamel Heard and Jamal Heard, the Charlos versus the Heard versus Jared Heard at 154, 160, and you talk about Louis Vuitton shoes, you talk about fashion, you talk about dating, then you draw connections with people who don't necessarily like boxing but enjoy their personality. You get what I'm saying? So hopefully they do that over in the UK, and it'll resonate with people. Let Eddie Hearn be a lesson for y'all. I'm gonna do another video because this is so entertaining to me. Don't let pride cloud your vision to becoming prosperous and successful. Eddie Hearn made one mistake: pride and money. If he had alleviated all that, he would be in a different position now. And I mean, he should, man. Now he's looking like a fool now, because not only is he not penetrating the U.S. market, his adversary is penetrating his market. You know, and let's be real, Eddie Hearn doesn't have a roster full of great fighters. You know, he has a roster full of fighters, but he has one Anthony Joshua, he has Kell Brook, Amir Khan. Those are important figures, but they're on the other side of the hill. You understand? I don't know who Al Haymon has signed to his roster. I have no idea. I don't know. But what I do know is he's not going to sit still. You know, I think he ruffled his feathers to a certain degree, and me just knowing the man's spirit, you kind of want to take him out. You know what I mean? You want him to wake up one morning and lose all his accounts and his assets. You don't want to, you know, physically take it from him. That's too easy. You know, or that's easier. You know, you don't want him to see you coming. You want him to wake up and realize Anthony Joshua is gone. What do you mean Anthony Joshua signed with somebody else? You know, kind of like that. So anyways, man, I just wanted to reach out and touch you guys. I'm on my way to Home Depot. I'm about to get the fixtures and stuff like that. So if you haven't joined my Patreon, I'm going step by step. We're in day 5 of the remodeling of the 2-bedroom apartment, and that's it. So anyways, man, I hope we have a great day. But this is the beginning. If it hasn't, I mean, the beginning came a long time ago, but the zone better figure out an exit plan, or they better align themselves with someone successful in the sport of boxing in America. Because if they don't, they're gonna fool us. See, here's what I would have done. I would have gave my platform to PBC. It's just an app, right? PBC don't have their own app, right? And this video may inspire PBC to do an app, you know, but PBC don't have an app or a landing they don't have a landing place for all their talent. Or maybe PBC does have an app, but it's not in my consciousness. It's not something that I would check every day to see what the hell is up. But they should have given, the zone should have given all their assets to PBC, you know, and been silent partners and hired people similar to the way they do, how they outsource the people who's in charge of credentialing, people who's in charge of the fights, you know, like a promotion company. So hire a promotion company to make it easier on you guys so you can understand, to run the zone. And don't call it the zone, call it PBC. We see it all the time. You know, like Showtime is a subsidy of CBS. ESPN is a subsidy of Disney. You understand where I'm coming from? So it's been done before. You know, it's like in the 60s. I don't want to talk about that. But you guys get where I'm coming from. They made a huge mistake. I've said this in many of videos. They should have been a silent partner. They should have been an investment asset to PBC. But they wanted to do their own. You know, like... it's just preposterous. It's not going to work. And they're going to have to create an exit plan for boxing. And it's going to be short-lived because they have made no money. They have made no money. And I'm going to do a video. I don't want to give nothing. I'm not going to talk about that neither. But anyways, all this will come to light soon. So anyways, barbershop conversations. Join the Patreon. If you have any interest in owning property or remodeling or doing something properly, join my Patreon. It'll help you to a certain degree. Barbershop conversations. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Talk to you soon. Peace.